constantly surprising. He's very, very clear, very, very precise as a person, as a thinker, and he's always ahead of us.
You do not need to know about contemporary art to be able to know Rondinone's work. In fact, you don't need to know about contemporary art to know Rondinone. What you need to do is experience his work, and then you know him.
All his work is based on the empty nature of mind, the empty nature of all phenomena, the empty, miraculous phenomena arising.
He is popular as great songs of the Beatles or Rolling Stones were popular too, because the song has everything which is needed to really hit you in your heart and in your brain at the same time. I met Ugo during his art studies in Vienna at Schule für angewandte Kunst. It's a school where you can study art history, architecture. He was fairly young. I think he was about 21 years old. And he was already very particular. You could already see that he would love to make a career where art is the major interest. He wants to become an important artist. And we became friends, and I studied art too, but I became a gallerist. And he stayed the artist, and he joined the gallery, which I opened in '89 in Zurich. He became already in the beginning, he was successful.
Ugo and I met 18 years ago, and he came here to do a collaboration. Again, he had heard of me, so knew my work, and wanted to collaborate. So we collaborated. We became lovers immediately.
Well, I knew his work before I knew him, but of course he was already represented by a gallery in New York, so I thought, can't do that. And then several years later, Ugo was walking down the street and announced that he had just left his gallery. And I went to his loft, which was then on Broadway, and we had a very long meeting, very wonderful meeting. And he let me know right after that he was going to work with me, which was thrilling.
Really, Ugo Rondinone and I are of the same generation, so we, in a way, grew up together. I've been looking at his work since the early to mid 1990s in all its variety. Rondinone is best known probably for his multi-medium installations, but he's also a video artist. He's worked in photography, he's written poetry, and he's made paintings. He's really exemplary of a generation of artists who are not medium specific in their work and who are very ambidextrous, if you will, going from one medium to another.
If you go to his studio, first of all, if you see his studio, you'll recognize the level of perfection. But he makes a model of every proposal for an exhibition. And when you see the exhibition, it is absolutely, precisely, exactly what he said it would be. Exactly. Which is, I think lots of things are open to change, but he does all of his thinking and all of his experimenting in miniature, in terms of installation, not in terms of the work. And it is installed exactly as he said it would be.
He never allows himself to make a mistake. many artists can only be free inside of a certain discipline or a certain whatever it is they do, paint a certain something. And Ugo is so broad and open to everything. And then he has the luck that everything he does turns out to be a great work of art.
He likes to use the space as a stage. Every show is extremely staged.
Clowns are a metaphor that he works with, so he continues, and each time he does it, it changes so miraculously. So if you look back on this, what is it, 20 or 30 years of using clowns, it's a great body of work.
That kind of clown is a kind of trompe l'oeil. It looks like it's alive, but it's actually very, very static and not living. And that's part of the weirdness and the fun of looking at those clowns. They don't move, they don't react to you. They're the opposite of what you'd think of when you think of a clown.
There's a certain tenderness, or there's a certain buffoonery which covers over sadness. And I think his clowns are sad. You know, they're sad.
There's melancholy, but you know, you can enjoy melancholy. It's not necessarily suffering. It's being in touch with your own emotions. Sentimentality is not necessarily saccharine. It can be also profound. And these are the emotions that Rondinone dares to get at. I mean, how many sentimental works of art can we look at with such interest and love in contemporary art? It's rare.
He brings it back to its roots. So I don't know, something like, which is pure, to this pureness.
The work is accessible, but as viewers of contemporary art, we walk in with a little bit of a suspicion. We always do. What do I need to know about this installation? What am I supposed to get from this work of contemporary art? It's just clowns and rainbows. I know these things intuitively. And Rondinone's gesture of bringing the children in is to teach the rest of us to say that that's what it is.
So during the exhibition, during the time of the exhibition, this wall will be covered with rainbow drawings by the children of Rotterdam. The title of the work, it's called Your Age, My Age and the Age of the Rainbow.
In fact, Rondinone gives us the rainbow and the clown and the open window and the birds and the oranges and all these other images and says, in fact, I do believe them and you love them too, don't you? The colored rocks and the trees.
I mean, it's a very, very small, you know, it's very dangerous to do that because you could fail easily. It could be easily kitsch or just nothing, but if it becomes something like the show we had here with the stone figures, or Barbara Gladstone had it too, and the Rockefeller Center show, it was based on the same idea of sculptures, was something like a religious moment for the people. When they came in, they were like, wow.
On the other hand, he has imagery that is that he has consciously taken up for political reasons, and that is the rainbow. The rainbow is the theme, is the emblem of Rondinone's work, and I think that it means beauty and innocence and fantasy, and it also means the liberation of people to love whom they want.
Suddenly it becomes me being a Buddhist saying these things. But at an abstract level, it's sort of the highest attainment of mind when you have to portray mind. So that the rainbow is the highest description of attainment. And so that's why I think it was constantly using the rainbow is based on that. And then when it coincides with the great gay thing, that's just another plus, you know, because she's happy that it does.
It's something everyone knows, and I think to take something that everyone knows and make it into something else is an achievement that an artist can do. But it's true, I mean, Andy Warhol made you look at a Coke bottle, you know, or a Brillo box. It's not the form, it's what the artist does to it that makes you see it in a different way than you ever thought of. And that, to me, is what art is.
As an artist of his generation, there will be a lot of work for art historians and for curators to discover now and later what his work is about. And I think he's a very important artist of his generation, one of the very few important ones.
Sommigen die slapen, zie je echt wel dat ze niet slapen, dat het eigenlijk nep is. En bij heel veel zie je ook dat het echt is.
Misschien dat ze een dutje doen van al het werk.
Ja.
Dat ze moe zijn.
Dat ze het circus van circus
heel erg moe zijn geworden.
Bij sommigen is een hoedje afgevallen. Het lijkt echt alsof ze verdrietig zijn.
Sommigen huilen een beetje.
Ja, het zijn poppen, maar het is wel kunst.